Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Handmade Chelsea Online. My name is Lucky, and I'm part of the Handmade Britain team. So today, we're going to be joining Pata Art and Design, and they're going to be explaining a 600-year-old technique that they use to create their wonderful textiles. So I'm going to pass it over to you guys, and just give a brief introduction of yourself, and then fire away with your show.
All right. Thank you, Lucky. Hi, hello, everyone. I am Duygu Pata, owner of Pata Art and Design from London. Today I'm with Yıldız Şermet, the creator of these beautiful textiles, and we will introduce you a 600-year-old tradition called hamamiye. First, Yıldız will talk about herself, her art, really briefly, and then I will talk about the history of hamamiye. Then we will all together have an example here. So let's start.
Yes. Hello, my name is Yıldız Şermet. Right now we are in my studio in Istanbul. I am working with Duygu Pata, who is running Pata Art Design in London. I studied ceramics, but I have always enjoyed working with different materials besides ceramic. Metal, plant fibers, wire, papier-mâché, and many more. I also spent a lot of time learning traditional arts, methods, and techniques. In traditional arts, I started with miniature painting, but now I also work with wood block printing on textiles. I think my earlier work in the miniature painting shows itself in my prints. I transfer some of the styles of motifs of the miniature into the block printing. My work in traditional printing is based on hamamiye style. I make towels, tablecloths, and scarves, along with the traditional hamamiye designs in my prints. You may find elements of the miniature painting as well, such as trees, clouds, and plants. I am glad to be working together with Pata Design and being part of the revival of the beautiful craft today. Now, Duygu will tell you more about this craft while I show you how do the prints and painting.
Thank you so much. So as I said before, I will talk about hamamiye. Hamamiye is actually the name of the method. It's a woodblock printing and painting methods. In Anatolia, printing is quite common, but what makes different hamamiye is the layout, which I will talk about later. But first, I want to give you a little bit history. So hamamiye is a 600-year-old tradition used widely in Anatolia, in different parts of Anatolia. It was used by women. They are quite big. As you can see here, it's almost 2 meters long and the side is 85 centimeters. Back in time, women were using it to cover themselves from weather conditions, sometimes to tie them on their heads. They were using it when they were going to hammams. Of course, that time they didn't have private bathrooms, unfortunately. They use it as scarves and sometimes they use it as a tablecloth. So it's quite functional. As you can see, the flower is the main motif of hamamiye. I like to consider this kind of scarf like a floral garden of Anatolia, the Anatolian women, because women were mostly painting whatever flora they had in their local region on the fabrics. It was kind of like showing off, like look at my beautiful tulips, look at my beautiful roses, or like my poppies, whatever they had in their gardens. They were printing on their scarves and they were using them to cover themselves outside or to create some kind of a vibrance in their clothing, especially during these boring gray autumn days. I think this brings a lot of color in our lives. As I told you before, the layout is quite different than the other kind of printing. So hamamiye has 3 sections. The first one is the border. We call it leafy way. Let me come closer so you can see easier. So basically it's a painting of a leaf. We call it leafyway, and the main section contains repetition of smaller motifs. Here we have clouds. So it's an important point. Normally in hamami we don't have clouds. The clouds is a part of the miniature painting technique, which I will be talking about later. Normally we have other kind of flowers, like in this one. I don't know if you can see, but like little sunflowers. Let me show you the wood block, sorry, this one. So in the middle section, as you can see, we have smaller motifs in repetition, a lot of them. And the third section is actually the main section. Here you can see the flowers. Whatever flower they had, they were printing in bigger sizes on the side, but this is the main section. Now Yıldız will show us how to do the printing, and then the painting I will try to explain a bit. If you have any questions, please just ask them. We will talk through. We will start with the border, the leafyway. We have a painting box, something like that. So this is the border. You need to, of course, measure your fabric first to create a line, like a continuous pattern on the sides. I hope you can see it. You need to put pressure, and then you continue this. A fun fact about printing, as Yıldız told me before, the masters of this kind of tradition, they know exact measure of their hands and their fingers to use during the printing. So they use basically hand measurements. The more, of course, you become professional, the easier it gets, but you need to spend your years, basically. And then we do this.
We have just a question, sorry. How long has she been learning this technique? How long have you been learning this technique?
3 years? 3 years, yes, for 3 years. Normally she's as she said before, she's a ceramic artist, but then her interest in her own culture and tradition took her to miniature painting first, and then the more she studied, the more she learned about our traditions, Anatolian traditions. So now she's doing the textiles, because she was using the miniature painting on her other textiles before, like in these ones, the cypress trees. I was going to talk about them, but I can talk now actually. These are the main elements of miniature painting, the cypress tree and the clouds, as I showed them here. I don't know if you can see them. So these are elements of miniature painting, which is a really old Eastern art. It was used in Persian, Ottoman, Indian empires. So she takes those motifs out of the context and then combines with different Anatolian traditions as kind of an appreciation of her own culture, which I just love it so much. Ortaya geçelim. And then, okay, now we will continue with the main part of the flowers, if you can see. So normally, just to complete one layer of hamami at this size, of course we have a smaller size right now, this size, it takes 6 to 8 hours to print and then to paint. To complete the full scarf, it takes at least 3 layers, 2 to 3 layers. So she paints them and then lets them dry, irons them to set the color, paint, sorry, and then she paints them again, repeats the form. So, okay, sorry, sorry. We're in the middle section now. This is a bit difficult because, as I said before, you have to repeat the same motif over and over again, but you have to know the measurements as well. What she told me before, we talked about it, you have to start from the middle of the fabric. This is really, really important. You have to start from the middle because if you make any mistakes or anything, you can fix it. But if you start from the sides, then you won't have any space to fix it. Also, it has to be symmetrical, obviously. So you start in the middle and then you go up, down, and then you go to the sides. As I said, if you make any mistake, you can fix it. And to make it more symmetrical, such as, for example, if you have a cloud, like half of a cloud on the left, you have to have it on the right-hand side as well. One fun fact about the middle section is that these prints, they were first of all hand carved. If I told it, I'm not quite sure if I told it before. They're hand carved, but the master who carves the wood blocks, they carve it like a puzzle. So, for example, in this example, the clouds, they are not linear. On the left-hand side, one cloud is on the upper side, and on the right-hand side is a little bit lower. The reason for it, for the master to print it in an easier way. So it's like a puzzle. When you print it, you know that which cloud goes where, basically. I don't know if it makes any sense. So here we have the print, and now we will start with the painting.
That is gorgeous. Can we quickly just see the wooden block? Could you just
sure.
so that we can see the pattern of that, and then we can have a look at the piece that's been created.
So here, so this is the cloud. Can you see it? So as you can see, it's not linear. So they're in different positions. So when you print it, it's easier for you to see where to print it. Otherwise, measurement is really, really difficult. Of course, for the masters who have been doing this 4 generations, 4 years, as I said, they know the size of their hands, so they can print really easily. But this is another easier way to do it. So if you're interested in woodblock printing in this style, just talk to the people who are carving it. So create it as like a piece of a puzzle, so you can create the whole easier. Now the painting process. So for the painting, we use the ecological paints. By the way, everything here is handmade. The fabric also, especially the ones we use to create the scarves, they are weaving. Is that the right word? Like the Anatolian craftswomen, they were weaving them.
Yeah.
With hands. I'm not sure with the word, but I think it should be weaving. Now we are painting them, like slowly, one by one. You have to be really. You have to be really careful, but also you have to remember that these are handmade scarves. They're not perfect. They're going to be there are going to be some mistakes, some faults, because they are not mass-produced scarves. The artist paints them for hours, and in a way, you can see the emotions of the artist and master in those scarves, because not only the flowers, but also whatever the master had that day, they were printing on the fabrics, basically transferring their emotions, reflecting their emotions of that day. Like, let's say they were happy and then they were using more vivid colors, but if they were a bit sad, or it was really gray autumn, and they were using a bit more colder colors, if it makes sense. So I consider these scarves as piece of art, like you're going to wear kind of paintings. Also, I want to show you how to wear them. As I said, they are quite big, so you can use it in many different ways. This is my favorite way. You can use it on top of your coat, for example. I keep this part a bit shorter, so I can cover the other part like this, especially during summer days, for example, on your dresses, or during the winter on your coat. If you want to bring a little bit of a color, you can wear it like this. You can leave it like this if you want, so you can show the flowers, or you can use it as a regular scarf. Because of its length, it's quite big. You can roll, I guess, twice, and then use it like this. It's however you like. So while she is painting the fabric, I also want to talk about a bit more on miniature painting and her other textiles. I don't know if you have time, but we should, maybe 1 or 2 minutes more left. So I have the cushions here. As you can see, there are cypress trees from the miniature painting, and the cushions are linen fabric. She hand stitches them. her motifs here. I have beautiful, I'm in love with this kimono, honestly. I have beautiful kimono here. There's a cloud, a little bit of a fancy over here. There's a miniature painting cloud and a cypress tree. The kimonos are 100% wool and they are made to measure. Again, the artist handmade the kimono first and then hand stitched the designs here. Also, I have hammam towels. We have a set. They're not painted. They are just the prints, like in the style woodblock prints. But the designs now, they're not flowers, but the really little funny characters from Kütahya ceramics. They're not as popular as the İznik tiles, really worldwide famous, but it's more about the daily lives of Ottoman people. Here is the set. I have a handmade olive soap, handmade comb made of a tree, and handmade this one as well, exfoliating kese with another funny character from the Ottoman era. Hammam towels, and I have the cushion covers here. Of course, the cushions are sent with the inside. And I have beautiful, I love these scarves here, like a piece of paintings. So that's it from us. If you have any questions, please just let me know.
That is wonderful.
I mean, it's gonna take a long time, so we won't have time. So if you have any questions,
I can understand. Can we get a look at those scarves in a bit more detail? Could you bring them up to the camera?
Of course. So this is one of my favorites, honestly. That's why I picked it, because I love the color. So here is the main design, main motif, the flowers. This made with this wood block, as you can see. And the sides, these were strawberries, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a strawberry. As I said, what is the local flora? They just printed here. Can you see it?
Fascinating. And how much is that? How much is that one again? How much can we buy that on your shop?
This is on my shop. It's 125 pounds. As I said, it's 100% handmade, hand painted. They come with a box, like a already gift box. It looks like. Here is I have the sunflowers in the middle section, but I personally also love the clouds because it reminds me the different cultures of beautiful Anatolia. I mean, it's their miniature painting clouds, and I just love them so much. I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about these works. I love them.
I can understand why you love them. Oh,
because
so intricately made. And how long did you say it takes from start to finish to create a whole scarf?
The whole scarf, like 18 hours, at least 18 hours. I mean, one layer, 6 to 8 hours. But after she paints them, she prints them, she paints them, and then lets them dry, of course. Iron to set the paint, and then leaves it for a while, then paints again. The whole process takes at least 18 hours, and everything is handmade. It's cotton, 100% cotton. It's thin, it's not that big, because I think it's easier to put the pattern and painting on it. We will try wool in the future, but first we will go with the cotton because, as I said, it's easier to do whatever you want to do.
Of course, yeah. And so how much were the cushions in the background? Could you bring one of the cushions to the screen so we can have a look in the details at the
So
details?
this is I'm gonna take the Palace cushion because I love it. This is called Palace Under the Sun. It's 65 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Linen, 100% linen, and hand stitched by the artist. This one, yes, on this one she has a signature. That's so cute. I don't know if you can see it. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, here. We have a little signature here. These are hand stitched cushions. I have also printed cushions. These are linen as well. Yes. and the wood blocks right here, as you can see. There's a rooster, the animal from the Anatolia, of course, from the mid region. I also want to show you the kimono. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes, my eye was looking towards that. I was eyeing that up.
Love it. I'm gonna wear it. 1 second. It's incredible. It's wool, but it's thin, so it will keep you warm, but it's not gonna make you feel heavy, if it's the right word, I don't know. So here are the arms. As I said, this is handmade, but it's going to be made to measure. And on the back side, you can see the stitches. Again, the Ottoman miniature painting motifs, but they're just so minimalistic, I think also applicable to contemporary work.
Wonderful. And how much finally is that on offer for?
The kimono is 150 pounds. It takes like 10 days to make it. So we're gonna need a little bit time, but it will be ready in 2 weeks. It will be with you in 2 weeks. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Let's show you
So
the process.
yeah, let's see what we've been creating this whole time.
It's just a part of the scarf, as you can see, because it takes long time. Just one part, but she's gonna paint the whole thing and then wait, as I said, iron and then paint again. And it's going to turn into a beautiful scarf.
Wonderful. That was absolutely fascinating, and hearing the history and how much emotions go into creating a scarf is amazing. Really, truly amazing. And I think we've had some, positive comments from some of the viewers, so that's really great. Thank you everyone for joining us for this session, and please stop by Pasta Art and Design on their profile. You can purchase any of their products by heading over there, and also they'll be available for a live one-on-one chat if you would like to have a conversation with them about any of their products or some of the history, because it's very rich, it seems. So thank you again. Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So up next, we're going to be joining Helen Chatterton Textiles. So please join us for that. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. Amazing session. Very, very interesting. Thank you guys. Bye.